Section 2.2.RA-2. The following data represent the number of potholes on 35 randomly selected 1-mile stretches of highway around a particular city. We want to complete parts A and B below. So here's the set of data. So for part A, we want to construct a frequency histogram of the data. A histogram is constructed by drawing rectangles for each class of data. For frequency histogram, the height of each rectangle is the relative frequency of the class. The width of each rectangle is the same and the rectangles touch each other. If desirable, use technology to create the histogram. So we're going to go ahead and do this using technology. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the homework assignment here. So I'm going to go ahead and select our example. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up in StatCrunch using the upper right hand corner. Okay, so in order for us to create a frequency histogram, we're going to go to Graph and then go down to Histogram. And then we're going to select number of potholes. Okay, and then we want to go down to where we're starting at. Well, in order for us to figure out where we're starting at, what we can do is look at the lowest number that's in our data. So if we wanted to, it's optional, but we can put in 1. And now what we can do is, we don't have the width, but we can just go ahead and compute. So we're going to go ahead and select compute. And then let's compare. Let's go ahead and copy this table. So we're going to copy the frequency histogram. Okay, and we're going to compare that with our answer that we have next to this, and we can see that it matches. So it starts at 1, okay, and we have a width of 1 here, width of 1 here. So the 1, this goes all the way up to 10, as you can see here. So we were able to generate the frequency histogram using StatCrunch. Okay. Next, what we want to do is we want to construct a relative frequency histogram of the data. So a histogram is constructed by drawing rectangles for each class of data. Now for a relative frequency histogram, the height of each rectangle is the relative frequency of the class, or the percentage. The width of each rectangle is the same and the rectangles touch each other. If desirable, you're going to use technology to create the histogram. So let's go ahead and pull that up again. So using the same data that we have here, we're going to go back to Graph, we're going to go back to Histogram again, and then we're going to select number of potholes. We can put in the number 1 again. Okay. Now the type that we want is the relative frequency. So now we're going to select relative frequency from the drop-down menu and then select compute. So now let's go ahead and do that. We're going to copy that down here. And so therefore we can see that, again, we're going from 1 through 8, but now what's happening is that our vertical axis, or our y-axis, is the relative frequency. And that means it's going all the way up to 0.05, 0.1, 0.15, 0.2, 0.25, and this goes all the way up to right above the 0.25, close to 0.3, which is where that's located. At 2, it's around 0.2, which is exactly where it's at. At 3 and 4, it's located right underneath the 0.15. 5 and 6 is right below 0.1. And then between 7 and 8, we got a little bit above 0.05.